Alright guys, let's continue and finish on this Aladdin trilogy with Aladdin and the King of Thieves, which I had not watched for a long time. As with Return of Jafar, I'd rarely go back and rewatch both of these because I don't think they're that great. I think they're fine. Aladdin and the King of Thieves is the second in the Aladdin, or the third in the Aladdin trilogy, and the end of the TV show as well that was wedged in between Return of Jafar and then this movie. So the Aladdin original series ends here, and we've got the remake coming out in a week, so I have to review these and put them out for you guys. And I'm excited to talk about this one because this one out of the other two movies, of course the first one is incredible. Then Return of Jafar is just okay, but it's kind of like a repeat of the first one with a couple of things about it that are okay. In this one, I like that this one is different, and I like how it's about Aladdin and his long lost dad, as opposed to the same story in Return of Jafar, where Jafar comes back and they got to stop him at the end. Like this one does not feature Jafar. It's about Aladdin and the King of Thieves who is his father, and I do like that, and I like the fact that it feels like this one more warrants existence than Return of Jafar, even though I liked Return of Jafar in some aspects. But this one, I think, had better things going for it. Even though the animation was on par with the Return of Jafar, it was still fine animation-wise. But it had some more theatrical feeling moments in it, I thought this movie did. But it's still TV animation, unfortunately. That's the only big negative about it. Again, I do like how this goes into the father route and does elaborate more on these characters as opposed to doing the same story again like Return of Jafar, even though Iago in Return of Jafar did have a story arc that was different than the first one. But I like that. And I did like how, again, Robin Williams came back after a long absence because he wasn't in Return of Jafar, and then the TV series in both of those, Dan Castellaneta, voice of Homer Simpson, and others, voiced Genie in Return of Jafar in the show. And then Robin Williams finally came back in King of Thieves after I guess their dispute was fixed between him and Disney. And this movie, I do like the Genie parts in this movie, but it is very, very apparent that they were pushing to have Genie be very, very important because Robin Williams is back. They wanted to really bring it fully to everybody's attention that Robin Williams came back. That he is up in front, almost the star, even though it's more about Aladdin and his dad than any character. But Genie, I do like Genie in this movie, and Robin Williams does bring back that Robin Williams charm that he did from the first movie. It's not as good because this isn't like as great of a written movie as the first one. It's like most of the Genie in the movie, even though I like it, is just him making jokes like he did in the first movie, but in the first movie he at least had more character. In this one he makes a lot of funny jokes, and that's fine because I don't mind a lot of them. But he like references every single Disney movie ever made in this movie. Like he turns into all of these things from Disney. At the end of the movie he saves them and turns into Steamboat Willie, or like whenever it shows like army guys jumping out of a plane, he'll be Pocahontas and then jump out of the plane like Pocahontas, or like he'll turn Jasmine into like Snow White or Cinderella when he's talking about like marriage. And then like even non-Disney references, he even becomes Mrs. Doubtfire, which he was in the movie Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams. So I just thought that was funny that they did all that with all of these references to Disney and all these other references. And the first movie, of course, in the second movie, did do references to other things, but I just felt like this was a lot of it. It was very overboard. But they wanted to really give everybody the idea that Robin Williams is back, that there's nothing wrong between him and Disney anymore. So I did appreciate that there were more jokes with the Genie in it, but I felt like it was a lot. It was kind of overkill. Not in a giant, not really in a bad way, but it was just a lot. And again, this one feels like, in terms of Disney direct-to-video sequels, it's a little more on the warrants existing, like, pendulum, where, like, it's a little higher up than, like, a lot of the other direct-to-video sequels. This one, it brings the element of Aladdin and his long-lost dad, and now he's the Prince of Thieves, or the King of Thieves, not Prince of Thieves. He's the King of Thieves, and John Rhys Davies voices his dad, which is a good choice. And I did like their relationship, him and Aladdin, and how he never was there for his son. And I did like how this did bring a little more like dignity to it, as opposed to some of the other Disney sequels that are direct to video that are really pointless. This one, yeah, you can do without it. Like, you could just watch the first Aladdin and not have to watch either of these. But this one is a nice little sequel, even though it's got really just low grade okay TV animation, and it's not as great written as the first one, of course. But this one has some catchy music, though. I like the music. I like it a little more than Return of Jafar. And that's my basic thought, is that I like this a little bit more than Return of Jafar, which was fine, but this one has the more points for being different and being more different with Aladdin and his continuation with his father that we never knew about. So I do like that. But overall, this is a mixed bag again for a direct-to-video Disney sequel. Like, I like it a tad more than Return of Jafar, but it's still average. It's not like anything special or anything awful, but it's just okay. It's an okay Disney sequel. Not the worst, but not the best. But it's higher up there in terms of best, because there's only 2 Disney sequels that I really love direct to video, and then the other ones are just kind of like okay to really bad. So there's not much of a ranking there, but that is my thoughts on Aladdin and the King of Thieves, and I am so excited because the Aladdin remake comes out, live action remake comes out this week. So you will expect a review from that soon. So that's my thoughts on Return of Jafar. Check out the review for the remake that will come out soon this week, if I can speak right. And that's my thoughts on Return of Jafar, or Aladdin and the King of Thieves. Again, I should just end this video because now I'm just saying wrong things. So if you like this video, check my links down below: Patreon, Twitter, Letterboxd. And tell me down below what you think of this movie, and thank you guys so much for watching.